Hotel brothers, sisters, black power. As always, giving honor to the creator, giving honor to the ancestors. Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul, my sister, my father, my in-laws, and all of my subscribers, my donors, my viewers, family members, ancestors, yours and mine, and all the brothers and sisters who are fighting for our liberation and salvation and emancipation in the black nation. By request, I am going to do this video on a gentleman you all know, one of our, if not the biggest, house nigga in black entertainment today. And that's Mr. Steve Harvey, who has catapulted his way through success in the entertainment industry by way of buffooning, buck dancing, jigabooing, and shoe shining. Being proud to be a house nigga. And let's deal with this for a minute. This is his wife. They on the verge of divorcing. I believe this is his third or fourth wife, Marjorie, who is an opportunist, and I'm gonna keep it real and gangster, as well as a hoe. You can look at how she's dressed, how she's standing, the pose that she has, cleavage showing. If she's supposed to be a older woman of stature, she's dressed like a $10 hoe, and she became Steve Harvey's wife by way of sleeping with Steve, at the same time being Steve's second wife's best friend. And so now you understand why I use the term hoe. Nevertheless, that's Steve with Marjorie and one of Steve's daughters, which he has 2 sons and 2 daughters, if I'm not mistaken. And this appears to be happier times for Marjorie anyway. Because like I said, you know, she slept her way to the throne. A lot of you know Steve Harvey from the Steve Harvey Show back in the 90s and early 2000s. With all of the cast members basically catapulted their way to success. And Steve Harvey, as you can see, with the wig on, he wore a wig for most of his adult life. You also know him from the morning show with nephew Tommy, who does the prank calling to people's houses, to people's homes early in the morning. A lot of you love that until he calls your house. Nevertheless, that's Steve's biological nephew, but he used the stage name Nephew Tommy so people can know who he really is. Know who he is in the comedy field. A lot of you know him from Family Feud, how he really bootlicks and buck dances on Family Feud. He's the all-American nigga. He comes on prime time with Family Feud, where he pretends as though he has love for black contestants. But if you notice, he's always clowning the black contestants. Once again, he wore a wig for most of his adult life, and his barber, James Thomas, wrote a book, and he says it all in the book. Probably about how he had to trim Steve's hair around the wig because a toupee is a wig. And these brothers are being highly maintenance, wearing lip gloss, makeup, having their nails, French manicures on their nails and toes, and all these things that women are supposed to receive. And this is why a lot of these brothers are so feminine and so soft. You can see the difference between the wig and the natural. And Steve is a master buffoonist. He's the Bojangles Bojangle. And this is the description of Steve Harvey and the role that he plays in Hollywood today. He is the white man's nigga without a doubt. But the influence that he has in a lot of the black community, for those who don't know who he really is, thinks that he is a success, that he's not a sellout, that he's not a coon, that he's not a Tom, and that he has an abundance of talent, which on a scale of 1 to 10, talent-wise, he's a 1. Also, when he said he didn't give a damn about slavery in front of a white audience, and the white audience applauded him, that was a spit in the face to our ancestors who were beaten, lynched, tormented, raped, mutilated. And to say that he didn't give a damn about slavery, for if it wasn't for someone who endured all of that motherfucking pain and trauma and near-death experiences, he would not be here. And so the way he thanks the ancestors is spit in their face and say he didn't give a damn about slavery. Also, when Monique stated that Whoopi Goldberg was a bed wench for the so-called white Jew, Steve Harvey came to the rescue. Because see, when you attack any house nigga or bed wench, all the house niggas gonna come to the porch and surround you. And so that's what happened. Steve Harvey had Monique on his show and told her that she should apologize to Whoopi Goldberg and that she cannot help poor people. Leave the poor people alone. This is what Steve Harvey said. Because he forgot when he was poor. And he told her that he's going to show her how to get back in good graces with two of the biggest black homosexuals in the entertainment industry, which is Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels. How to get back in good graces with these homosexuals and learn how to play ball. He's actually going to show her how to properly shine a shoe and how to properly lick a boot. And when he met with Donald Trump, the devil, if you look at Steve, he looks like he is at one of his most triumphant moments when he shook hands with Massa and stood with Massa. This was a big accomplishment for this coon. And now this fat cave dog, this motherfucking ice monkey, Paula Deen, who said on her cooking show that she would like to prepare a wedding reception where all of the blacks are dressed as slaves and serve the white masses and the white people at the wedding reception and dressed as such. Black community became outraged at this bitch. However, that's all we become is outraged. Nothing was done further than being outraged. Steve Harvey comes to the rescue and tells this bitch on behalf of the black community, he apologizes. He accepts her apology. And I don't know what part of the black community or what community you are talking about, but the black community does not accept no apology from this fat wife of the slave master bitch. This is his former wife who was friends with Marjorie, who Marjorie snuck behind her back and slept with her husband at the time. That says a lot about Steve too. Because how can you host a talk show and talk about relationships when you've been married 3 or 4 times? You cannot sustain a healthy relationship with no one except Massa. And now look what you done to Marjorie. You went behind her back, and now you have gotten involved with Kris Jenner, who is a madam for her own daughters. She is a hoe and a whore instructor for her own daughters, teaching them how to be whores, teaching them how to go after the black man's money, the successful black man. And now Steve Harvey has been texting her with googly eyes. Now he's fulfilling his dream with being with the white bitch. And without the mustache, you remind me of The Mask. Also, you look like with that makeup on and that lip gloss, you look just like you could be related to RuPaul. Look just like a queen. Now, this is the original Kings of Comedy, the original Kings of Comedy with Guy Torry, in which Guy Torry stepped off the tour for reasons beyond my knowledge and was replaced with D.L. Hughley. Now, let's be honest. Bernie Mac stole the show. The Kings of Comedy, the DVDs wouldn't have sold, nor would the shows have sold out if it weren't for Bernie Mac. It's no question who was the blockbuster, who was the man on the Kings of Comedy tour. Because the other three, and I like D.L. Hughley, but I don't see him as being no king of comedy. Now, you want my opinion of the kings of comedy? This would be the real kings of comedy. And this how it should have been with the real kings. Not these kings, but these kings. Now they have a Kings of Comedy Part 2, where actually it's 2 queens and 2 kings. You make the call. Bernie Mac had blew up from the Kings of Comedy. Everybody wanted Bernie. And so Steve Harvey and Bernie Mac was up for the part in Ocean's 11, which Steve wanted so bad. But when it came to talent, he couldn't outdo Bernie. And he was enraged when Bernie Mac got that part. And that's where the beginning of the real hating kicked in with Steve Harvey. He had a deep-seated hatred for Bernie Mac. Jealous because of Bernie Mac's God-given talents and abilities. And Bernie was really on his way to becoming a megastar. And by the way, he had to press Hollywood to get his own show because Bernie Mac was too dark, too black, too strong. You know, and he didn't fit the mold for Hollywood because they like the light-skinned mulatto, sometimes brown-skinned brothers to fit that mold, but not the heavily melanated. And so it was said that Steve Harvey had something to do because Bernie Mac, when he done his last movie, he was on oxygen, and it said that someone tampered with his medication, which caused him to go into cardiac arrest. And Bernie left us very early, very early. This was a sad day in Hollywood. And it was a shock to brothers and sisters all around the world. And I know for a fact foul play was involved. The same hatred Steve Harvey had for Bernie Mac was the same hatred Snoop Dogg had for Tupac. And when they both made their transition, these niggas catapulted. Their careers skyrocketed. And so Steve Harvey with this fake cry on Bernie Mac Day, celebrating Bernie Mac. What are you crying for real? Your conscience is eating you up? You're crying because you didn't get to where you are at today, fair and square? That you had to put so much energy, death energy, and possibly participate or pay someone to tamper with that man's medication so you can move forward. Because you're not crying because you had an abundance of love for Bernie Mac, because you didn't. Everyone knows you hated him. And now, the 2 shows that you have, Thunderdome, and has been replaced because you've been canceled with Kelly Clarkson taking your place. Because see what happens When you don't comply with the cracker and you jump out of line and try to make your own decisions, and you have, after you have sworn to be a coon, these are the type of things that happen. So, what goes around comes around. And so, Steve Harvey, this is just a brief look and synopsis at Steve Harvey, because he is a world-class coon. He is a dangerous nigga. He is a danger to the black community because he's unpredictable and he'll do whatever white America tells him to do. He is what you call a safe Negro. But to us, he's a traitor. He's a nothing-ass nigga. And these niggas like him think that success is based on how much paper and toys you have. Success is based on your integrity, your humanitarianism. How much compassion do you have to look out for your brothers and sisters? To be a true example. To not see your brothers and sisters suffer if you are in position to make changes for the betterment of the black community. That's what success is. Integrity. Morality. And so, you have none of that as far as I'm concerned. And so let the chips fall where they may. And see, when these niggas come running back to the black community with their tail tucked between their legs, we should not allow them back in the black community. Especially when they say shit like they don't give a damn about slavery and spit in their ancestors' face and have so much forgiveness for what these white devil crackers, the comments that come out of their mouth. We should never let these niggas back in the black community. And so in closing, let me just speak on this briefly. Tribe Called Quest, Phife Dawg, may rest in power, who struggled with diabetes for a long time. But one thing Phife Dawg didn't do was give up. He was a fighter. He fought a good fight. He still went on tour when his diabetes was killing him, to the point where they had to stand him up on stage, but he continued to rap. He did not give up. He was a true warrior. Same as for the ghetto boys, Bushwick Bill, who's dealing with pancreatic cancer right now, and he's still going on tour, not giving up, not worrying about how he looks, and continue to stand up to fight. Fight until the last day. Fight until the last breath of his body. That's what it appears that Bushwick Bill is doing. And we, the street law soldiers, we take our hats off to these brothers. And you brothers and sisters out there that refuse to give in to whatever illness may plague you. To stand up and fight, not whine and cry. Because some of us whine and cry over the littlest, smallest things that doesn't make any sense at all. that is not even worth speaking about. And so when you see brothers like these two gentlemen, these two warriors, it should give you the incentive and the motivation to fight anything that comes your way, especially something that's trying to take you out of here. Chief of Staff Brother Harvey Abdul fought for 3 years with throat cancer, tongue being cut off, being fed for 3 years without food, being fed intravenously liquids in his neck, in which I fed him on many occasions. But he never gave up, never laid down, always was on the move, even at 94 pounds, to the last day, till he couldn't go any further. And so I say that to motivate those who may be struggling, those who are in homes, hospice, nursing homes, to continue to fight all the way to the end. To the end. You know, subscribers, Darren Nelson, who's blind in one eye, dealing with lupus and some other issues, but still fights each and every day. And so I just want to say that to uplift our brothers and sisters, because you never know what the outcome may be, and you never will know if you throw in the towel. Hotep, Black Power.